Welcome back, guys. It's another episode of Let's Be Real. I am Tara.
And I'm Sheri.
And we just got more juicy gossip today. We're going to expose a little bit of ourselves.
Okay.
I think my clients are going to take way too much pleasure.
I'm a little worried about that, but that's all right.
It's fine. You know what? It's billable time if they want to talk to me about it.
Exactly.
But I know
I think we've already shared enough. I mean, not enough, but we've shared. And if they're still our client, they haven't run away. That's good.
It's a really good sign.
Yeah.
It's a really good sign. So there's a TikTok trend that's going around right now of just no shame. Hi, us. No shame of things my exes did and I stayed.
Ooh.
I want to preface that I do talk about having a partner. None of these things are anything that he does or has done.
Okay. All right.
So,
And I don't have a partner, and that's because of these things. Sorry.
Exactly. My point being, we ultimately did leave these people.
Left. Yes.
We left these people.
Yes.
There was a final straw somewhere along there. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Sure. Okay. So, all right. So how does it go?
So I can start.
Okay. So
I'll start with a big one. It's always on my mind.
Okay.
I had an ex that would make homophobic comments, and I'm a queer girl, so
Uh-oh.
I wasn't out at the time.
Okay.
My definition of queer was a little blurry at the time,
Mhm.
so I think he knew that I had like an attraction for girls and stuff like that, but he didn't really care to listen to it. I remember we got into an argument once, and this will be a good way to find out if he listens to the show.
Exactly.
We got into an argument once, and he said something, same thing that we talked about last time, right? Where like, who knows what the argument was about, but he ended it with like, so what are you, like, just say you're gay or something. And I'm just like, and I wasn't out. I wasn't talking to him about my sexuality because I was with him and I'm a monogamous person. And I was like, I can't believe you just said that to me, because he was using it as an insult.
A weapon.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was derogatory. It was a weapon. And I was like, I think this argument is over.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I stayed after that argument.
Okay. All
So
right.
that was an odd one. I stayed after someone made homophobic comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So something my partner said and I still stayed. Okay. So we were in the car. Somebody said, you guys want to go get something to eat? Are you hungry? And I said, oh, I'm always hungry. Oh, yeah. She's been packing on the pounds is what was said to me. And yes, I still stayed.
Sheri.
I still stayed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that kind of comments.
Yeah.
A lot of those comments, right? Yes, I'm talking about you. And so, yeah. So, okay. So what else you got?
What else do I have? I'll take it back a little bit later. I stayed after. This is so embarrassing for him, which I love because
All right, bring it, girl.
he
Bring
doesn't
it.
deserve anything.
We're gonna
else.
have a slander
This is a
suit.
different person.
Okay.
I long distance. I told him I was moving on in so many words. It obviously was not that calm. And he kept me on the phone while he threw up afterwards while he was processing the breakup.
Oh no, but you stayed?
I probably stayed for like a month after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the relationship that like a switch flipped of
Yeah.
me being like the uber people pleaser to me suddenly realizing I needed to take care of my own shit and water my own grass. It was like an overnight thing.
Yeah.
And I'm still pretty people pleasery at times. But before that, I had no identity.
Mm.
And then that one showed me real quick.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been labeling myself. I don't think anybody's ever labeled me that way, but I've definitely labeled myself now as a recovering people pleaser.
That was like my codependency people pleasing.
Yeah.
Was that era, that breakup, all of that. And then I moved into like, it's okay for me to be a bitch sometimes. I don't need to be polite to everybody.
Right.
I need to save my ass.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what I tried to do in my last relationship, and that just angered things more. So now I'm the bad bitch because I did try to stand up for myself. But anyway, the idea, let's see. So something my ex did, and I still stayed with him. Ooh.
This is so exposed.
This is so raw. Okay, let's go with someone else.
Okay.
Okay, so came home to say I lost my job for like the 5th time. And by the way, what's for dinner? You know, I'm just like, what? He was supposed to bring home dinner, but he spent all the money on alcohol, so didn't buy dinner. So yeah, but I stayed.
Yeah.
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 I'm no longer with this person.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That is, please remember these things.
Please remember that, you know, those kind of things went on for a while.
Yeah.
You know, and you think, oh, I can fix this person. I can help you find a job. Let's go do this. I can help you do that. Let's start a business. Let's do this. No, Sheri, if somebody doesn't want to do something truly, no matter how much you try, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So
And it's not about you.
It's not about me.
That part. Oh,
Yep.
gosh. That's sinking in. I'm a Love is Blind watcher. And by the time this episode airs, the season will be over because the reunion's coming out this Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my gosh. You don't watch it at all?
No, I lived it. I don't need to watch it.
We're doing a watch party for next season.
Okay, I'll come watch it.
Yes, please.
So I can
Please.
watch what not to do in my relationship?
It's just it's a therapist's dream
Oh, I got to watch it then.
because I don't touch couples. So this is like the best way for me to
Right.
be like,
Okay, so how many times have you had a partner tell you, don't therapize me?
I've been very fortunate that hasn't happened.
Oh, sorry, it's my fault then.
No, I've been very fortunate. I think I've gotten close.
I've been a therapist for over 20 years, so I think that
makes a difference.
That comes out in me, or people will use that against me. Yeah. Anyway,
I've been a therapist for like a 20% of that time.
that's okay. You're seasoned now. I see.
No, I'm just a baby
You're
who's still
not a
considering
baby.
being a supervisor. But I'm like,
You
oh
can do
gosh.
it. You're gonna be good.
Why am I the responsible adult in this situation?
I have been wondering that for a long time.
But I want to have a specialty if I do supervisory work, though.
Of course.
I want to supervise people who did what I did in the schools.
Okay.
I think that was like my strongest set of skills
Okay.
clinically. It was awesome. Anyway, same person I was just talking about. They oh shoot. This is gonna get a little deep. They threatened to kill themselves if I broke up with them.
Oof.
So I stayed.
Oh, that's the worst.
That was worse. That was my first. You want to hear the real irony of this fucking relationship? So that was my first abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That was the abuse. I did not realize was abuse.
It is, yeah.
I was teaching courses about abuse while this was happening to me.
Of course
And I
you were.
did not see it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a therapist and I deal with trauma, and I didn't realize. I mean, I knew that I was being abused, like verbally, and I knew that what I was dealing with was a narcissist, and I knew that physical abuse was going to happen sooner or later, right? So I guess in mine, when we talked about being able to, in another episode, about being able to give 30, right?
Yeah.
This person did not let me give 30, right? And I stayed, right? Like, no, you cannot leave this bedroom until we discuss this.
Held you hostage.
No, we cannot leave this closet until closets are not big, okay? This was not a big closet. Or the garage, blocking the door, getting in your face, screaming at you. I think those are definitely abusive behaviors, you know? But then screaming, I'm not an abusive man.
That's how you show up.
That's how you show up, right? So good for you, strong man. Anyway, and I stayed until I saw him do the same thing, if not worse, to my own child. And so therefore I said no more. That mama bear kicked in and said, you can do what you want to me, but when you do that to my son, and why was I okay with all that for me, but not for my son? Which thankfully, when my son said, don't go back in that house, Mom, I'm scared for you. He wasn't scared for himself. He was scared for me. So when
someone had to see that for you.
Yeah. Someone had to see it. Even though my friends told me, it's always lovely how your friends tell you things after the fact. I never liked that guy anyway. I'm like, shut up. You should have told me before.
Yeah.
So even though I wouldn't have listened.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have listened.
That goes back to something we talked about
Yes,
not too long ago as
exactly.
well. I have a client that's learning that about herself right now. Is she's exploring a new relationship and a new dynamic, like a new way to explore relationships
Mm-hmm.
with a different lens and a different set of expectations, and
Yes.
a little jaded, I would say, appropriately.
Right, and it's hard. How do you go back to any kind of relationship and not be, because things are sometimes so good in the beginning, right? And then we see the flags and we feel like where the red flags come in big, and then you feel like you're already too far in,
Yeah.
right? So another one, I got a lot. Another one was telling, like during COVID, telling me that because my own son was had a very small fever, and blamed that he would never be able to see his son because of it, and told me I'll find somebody else who can take care of my son, or I can trust with my son. Sorry, let me say it correctly. And so I said no, and because it just kept going and going, and I took stuff back, and they cried. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a crier.
Yeah.
You know, you want to, but I was like, no, this is not okay, right? Not okay. You can't do this to me again. Okay, that was the beginning of the end. And I should have left then. But those are the things. I'm a therapist. I feel like I can help people.
Yeah.
But no, if you could be my client. Well, actually, that's not even something I can say anymore. I used to work in the mental health court, and I would say if you could have been my client,
If you qualify,
then you can't be my partner, right? But in this instance, now I'm in private practice. Anybody can be my client, or could be, right? So I can no longer use that analogy. But if you're somebody who probably should be in jail for your behavior, no, thank you. I'm not going to fix you. I'm not going to fix you at all. That's what I have to keep telling myself.
I like that.
That's the moral of my story.
I like that. But I want to backtrack on that should right there, because you needed more intel to make you wouldn't have been secure in a decision, which is what happened to me. I am not a on and off person.
I'm not. I'm all in or all out.
Exactly. Except for my last relationship, where I offended myself and I set boundaries 2 separate times. Technically 3, because the third one was the breakup. But I set boundaries 2 separate times, and I stomped all over my own boundaries.
Oh, yeah. Every time I said...
offended myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I said, I won't take any more of that, or this is it, no more, right? This has to stop. It didn't have to stop because it kept going, and I kept letting it happen.
Yeah.
I kept getting madder or more withdrawn or more feeling bad about myself, but I still let it keep happening. So I take my responsibility and I move on. So
I have another one.
Okay, tell me.
I ended up apologizing for the very issue I was bringing up.
Because it was your fault?
No. No.
You weren't taking personal responsibility?
But I got suckered into a narcissistic relationship.
Oh,
or a relationship with a
yeah.
narcissist, I should say.
Right.
So if it's my fault, no, it wasn't. If it was that bad, then you deserved it. And the narcissist prayer, all that.
Yep.
I got that full roundabout till I was apologizing for bringing it up.
Right. Now
And
it's your fault for bringing it up, right? Yeah. All right. So what have we learned? Exactly. Right. What have we learned, and how do we not find ourselves in those types of relationships again?
For me, it's learning my communication needs. Okay. So, because I get very fight or flight, I get very like pushed into a stress zone.
Right.
When it comes to me bringing up conflict or something that I don't like or something that I want to be adjusted. So, finding a partner that can help me explore that safely.
Okay.
Is vital, and I can learn that early.
Okay, good.
And having someone who models that for me. So someone who can come to me. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to do everything the right way. So someone who can come to me and model that kind of communication is really important.
Right. I agree. And those seem to be the people that I gravitate towards, right? And then somehow along the line, because I'm not a great communicator usually, I get defensive and I get angry, or I get triggered. And sorry, you know that word, take a sip. So, but the idea is that I have to learn how to be less reactive, but not look for people who are just going to tell me what I want to hear, right? And that's how they get me. I'm a good communicator. All I need is a good hug, and you can calm me down, but you're going to use words to me that I'm like, wait, did you really say that? Right. So I think it all has to do with communication and personal responsibility. So, but it's really hard to not get involved with somebody who is a narcissist because they're so good in the beginning.
Masking, right?
Yeah.
And the love bombing, which you and I are both suckers for.
Totally. I'm an all in or all out girl, right? Like
Yeah.
I said, and that's really hard. That's why I choose to be all out right now, because finding that level of what is somebody just telling me what they think I want to hear, or me giving way too much of myself in the beginning. I am a total glutton for that. I'm the one that's going to give the love cards, the love notes, the right things, the stupid signs, the little things that, I shouldn't be giving in the first month. I'm the sappy girl.
Yeah.
And so I want somebody else to maybe learn how to be a friend and learn all those things before I say the words too soon and before. So that's my goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. One thing that I'm not a fan of pros and cons lists when it comes to people.
Agreed.
Opportunities or like events or financial, I'm down with it. When it comes to people, I'm not a fan of pros and cons lists. And there's something I do with quite a few of my clients called the relationship matrix.
Okay.
Where you have 4 quadrants. You have the must-have, you have a prefers, you have a rather not, and you have a deal breaker.
Oh, I like that.
So prefers and rather nots can get a little, like, they each are interchangeable in their own.
Right.
But what's important is the must-haves and deal breakers.
Okay.
So for me, like, a deal breaker is someone who has or wants kids.
For me, a deal breaker is somebody who has non-adult kids.
Yeah, fair.
If your kids are not grown, do not come near me.
Yeah.
No more little people in my life. Burned, done.
Right. And then like a must-have for me is someone who is ambitious or desires to be a lifelong learner. That's
Love
a
it.
must-have.
Right.
I want to travel and I want to go to museums and I want to go to historical places. I want just to visit, just to get that experience.
Absolutely.
And if I go with someone who likes to go on cruises and all-inclusive resorts and that's the only vacations they want to take, we're incompatible.
Okay. Or people who don't want to go on trips and they
That
want to
part.
be homebody, right?
Yeah, no, that part.
I'm a little bit of both. I can do home. I can do go. I can do go. I can do home. I definitely need somebody who wants to travel and I don't want to hear about it afterward. That, I want it to be like a mutual, we both go together, want to be there together, somebody who wants to be part of my friend group, somebody who wants to be part of my life, not just us together, because that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I've had enough of those where I've put all of myself into that person and then been left with nothing in the end. So.
Right.
But my friends always stay. So that's one thing I have to remind
that's
myself.
A good anchor.
No matter what. And that's why I have an anchor. I don't know if you can see it. My anchor on my arm is, or on my wrist is because of my friends, right?
I like that.
They have been we have been each other's anchors for so long. We've been friends for 35 years.
I want to do the Love is Blind watch party with you guys.
Okay. Yeah,
The
you
group of
definitely
you.
do. You definitely do. We're quite a group, just so you know.
I'll supply the wine and the seltzers.
Okay,
I'm just going to sit back with my popcorn
All
and just
right.
watch you guys consume this
Absolutely.
absolute trash TV that I love so much.
Well, one of mine probably already watches it. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
So we'll host.
All right. Sounds good.
We're going to make this happen.
All right. I'm down for it.
Awesome. I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay.
Well, do you want to wrap there for today?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I have never exposed myself this much, like, publicly when it comes to, these specifics.
I just said a lot of things I probably should not have said, so I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I'm not,
I'm
actually.
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm not sorry. But I like being a human. I don't like pretending that I'm just this professional and I'm a therapist who doesn't have these things going on in my head and in my trauma history.
Right.
And while I don't believe that disqualifies me from being a good therapist,
I think that actually qualifies you. And
I think so.
Not one versus the other, but I see as all the things that have happened to me in my life, good or bad, that has put me in a place to have the specific clients that I have, right? I truly believe that the things that being divorced, being involved with narcissists in my life, having so many, like the interesting family that I have, everything has really brought me to a point where I can really feel what my client is going through, right? And I can understand that need for people that they want somebody else to hear them and see them. And that person who hurt you, unfortunately, can't.
Yeah.
Whether they want to or not is not the issue. Is that they just physically can't be in your same space. I'm not saying I can, but I feel like I can bring in from a certain level that I would not have been able to 15 years ago. So that's why half the people that come to me have been involved with somebody who's a narcissist. Just so you know, I do not advertise that. I just happen to get them.
Yeah, you're a magnet for that level of healing, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Well, and that's because I'm a trauma therapist, and it causes a lot of trauma, and I don't think people realize how much that destroys your self-worth, and why it's important to talk about this, because there are people like my ex who people are afraid of them, like not because they're the mafia or anything that they're going to kill anybody, but that they're afraid to say something to them, whether they're a family member or a neighbor or whatever, because they think they're going to do something to them.
They're reactive.
They're reactive. And so they get to continue that behavior because people enable it. So, and another big thing, if I meet a man and he doesn't have any friends, no, thank you.
Such a good
That
point.
says a lot, right?
Such a good point.
If I was with this person for 5 years, I only met one friend, and that person lived far away and hadn't seen them in 20 years. So that kind of says something.
It does. That says a lot. That says a lot.
If you can't be responsible in a friendship, you cannot be responsible in a relationship. That's how I feel.
Well,
I mean,
a relationship is the ultimate friendship.
True, right? If you can't be a friend, or people keep leaving because of the way you behave, then you got to ask yourself why. And this is not just a judgment, but it's a true wish that people could really see what they're doing to themselves and others and really make a real meaningful change. So that's my real purpose for what seems like a lot of bashing, but it's really more of, I really want people to get help and really find, hey, listen, see your mirror, please.
Yep. To our point, you and I got out of these relationships that we just listed all this bullshit of. We got out.
Yeah,
we did
absolutely. Thank you, Lord.
There were times in all of those relationships that I was thinking about where I thought it was going to be my forever and I was going to have to adjust. And I didn't.
And I didn't.
I moved on,
right.
And I'm better for it. It
Amen.
hurt like fucking hell while I was doing it.
Yeah.
But every time there was a point where I was like, oh, this is a lot better than where I was.
Absolutely.
And there's a book I recommended recently called Single is Your Superpower. Ooh. It's a really cool book.
All right, I'm going to have to listen to that.
It's
I say
really
listen because, I'm not good. I don't like to read. I'm just listening to my long drives.
No, it's definitely an audiobook.
Okay, perfect.
It's a widely used one.
All right.
But that about wraps it up for
Absolutely.
us today. We're going to decompress after this trauma unloading.
For sure, right?
And you guys do the same.
Everybody do some tapping.
Oh, gosh. I do my bilateral eye movement.
There you go.
You guys know where to find us. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook as well. Find us, reach out to us. I low-key, high-key, I'm curious if this was an episode that resonated with people. If, like, the closeness that, like, Sheri and I kind of exposing ourselves. It was raw.
Right.
If this is content.
If you're like, shut up about your own shit, then that's fine.
And both of us can handle that.
Totally. I don't need to keep throwing it up, But
yeah.
It was helpful.
Or maybe we could plan
that.
Maybe we should plan a little bit more when we do.
Yeah.
Whatever. We probably won't. So don't ask us to do that. But
no, I agree.
You can tell us what you like, what you don't like. We want to make sure that these waves actually make sense for you guys too.
All right.
Because this is a space we've created, but we are sharing it. So we might as well cater what we can.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. Well, we will catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.